Good evening, everyone. I'm Ronnie Arbo. I'm the Campus and Community Engagement Manager for Wesleyan Center for the Arts. I want to welcome everyone here. What an inspiring movie we just saw. It's incredible to witness such an empowering, beautiful, and broad container for dance and community building. Before I introduce our panelists for today, I want to acknowledge that at Wesleyan Center for the Arts and Dance Department, we believe that one of the roles of the arts is to make the invisibilized visible. We also believe that it is not the responsibility of those who have been made invisible to remind us that they are still here. Therefore, as committed allies, we wish to acknowledge the respective grounds on which our institution and our visiting artists are present tonight. Wesleyan is located on the traditional lands of the Wangunk, and in Austin, our guests are joining us from the traditional lands of the Tonkawa, Comanche, and the Lipan Apache. We honor their land, water, and ancestors, past, present, and future, and we recognize their continued existence and contributions to our society. We also recognize and acknowledge all those who did not come to this land by choice. All who come here are welcome in this space today. So we're here tonight to talk about Trash Dance, about Forklift Danceworks, and about an exciting project that Forklift will be undertaking with Wesleyan's physical plant staff over the next year. So a quick round of introductions, and we'll move into this wonderful conversation. We're thrilled to have with us tonight Allison Orr, founder and artistic director of Forklift Danceworks, and distinguished fellow of Wesleyan's College of the Environment. We also have, you could wave when I introduce you, Don Anderson, who stars in Trash Dance. You all saw his incredible crane solo just now. Don is now a bus driver with Cap Metro in Austin and serves as the community engagement advisor for Forklift. Also with us tonight is Dean Canalia, plumbing foreperson for Wesleyan University, who has been collaborating with Forklift Danceworks and Wesleyan students since 2014. And Tamara Rivera, West class of 2021, an environmental studies and biology double major with a minor in dance. Tamara has worked with Forklift both at Wesleyan and as a summer intern in Austin, Texas. She's currently working on a senior project this spring with Forklift and Wesleyan's essential workers. And last but not least, our esteemed moderator for this evening, Professor and Chair of Dance, Hari Krishnan. So after about a half an hour of conversation, we'll open it up to audience questions. Please put your questions in the chat and we'll gather them and share them with our panelists. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight, and I'll turn it over to you, Hari.
Thank you very much, Ronnie. Good evening and welcome, everyone. It gives me great pleasure to have this conversation with these amazing people. As Ronnie said, we'll chat for about 30 minutes or so, and then we'll open this up. So please, we invite you, the audience, to come with your questions, comments, and observations. I'd like to share some thoughts about this amazing film. Trash Dance not only addresses the many ways in which humanity, vocation, and art can intersect. It also opens up a new world where outdated definitions of dance, who gets to dance, and who gets to make dance are challenged and rectified. This corrective measure is an urgent one, especially during these COVIDian times, where art can happen anytime, anywhere, with or by anyone. For me, Trash Dance is a metaphor for generating empathy, self-respect, dignity, and ultimately love. Love for each other, love for one's labor, love for community, love for animating the magic of the theater in every moment, in every space, in every object, in every encounter. This democratic message also mirrors the core philosophy of Wesleyan's Department of Dance, that anybody can dance. And I would add further, anything can dance. And definitions of dance, movement, choreography are constantly changing, shifting, and transforming. Allison Orr says that she's setting up the possibility of people to show themselves. This act of revelation is an honest one. And director Andrew Garrison has crafted a beautiful poetic world, a world where perceptions of who takes out the trash are ruptured. And the magical dance that ensues provides hope for a better, kinder, and gentler world. Don Anderson, one of the rock star performers whom I have the pleasure of speaking to, says, "There's some grace in what we do." To which I respond, "Yes, sir. This grace is needed more than ever now in the complex world we inhabit." Don, I'm going to start with you in terms of a discussion. What has this experience been like for you, and what led you to this project? And could you share some of your experiences?
Uh, it's been fabulous. First of all, I like to start off with just thanking Wesleyan for having us. But the Trash Project truly introduced me to a world I never knew existed. The world of art, of dance. You know, when kind of where I come from, when you think of art, you know, you think of some photos, some pictures, or something somewhere. But Forklift introduced me to the possibility of being able to use my imagination to make dance, and the experience was it was so overwhelming. I'll tell you, I was truly just captivated, if you will, by the dedication, by just the just the heart of a lion, if you will, from Allison Orr. She was a persistent young lady. She was a persistent lady. When she walked into our facility and proposed making those trucks dance, everyone looked at her real strange. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. You know, but I'll share this with you, Harry. What really got me hooked was seeing her show up every day, seeing her willingness to go out and get an understanding and gain the knowledge of what it is that we did as professionals on a daily basis. And that, man, that just showed me the passion she had for what she was doing. And that's given me the passion, and that gave me the passion to want to be part of something that I knew was just going to be great. I remember telling her, if you want this to be a great performance, I'm your man to work that crane. So it's just been a whirlwind experience for me, and I love her, and I thank Forklift for introducing me to a world I really never knew existed, the world of art.
Thank you, Don. That's so beautiful. And this world of art really touches us, and we really feel it. Thank you so much. This I've been specifically asked to. One of the questions is about your crane solo and the magical ways you have collaborated on this crane solo. And Allison, feel free to jump in terms of how did the solo come about, and can you share any experiences, because it's really so magical.
I remember her telling me one day my crew was out working, and she said she needed this piece of machinery in the project, and I said, I was like, okay, we're gonna put the crane in and make this thing dance, okay. But I remember that conversation with her, and she said that yeah, we definitely this could definitely be a piece of equipment that would make the show really stand out, if you will. And her and I, we just talked, and she let me know what she wanted, kind of wanted the crane to do, and the movements that she wanted it to make. And I just prayed about it and went out and did it, because her and I, we only had one practice session together leading up to the event. Throughout the entire time, we only had one practice session, her and I, and it was just an amazing thing that happened, I tell you.
That's phenomenal. Allison, do you like to add to that?
Happily. Well, and I echo Don's thanking you, Hari, and Dean and Tamara, and all of you from Wesleyan who are joining us tonight. Such a pleasure. I always like to say I'm always happy to talk about myself. Oh my gosh. Well, and Don changed my life. I think we've changed each other's lives, right, Don? And he definitely changed my life, and his commitment, his belief in this idea, his willingness to trust it in me. I mean, it's just changed my whole career. And I think his care so much for his work and his fellow employees shows through in that film. And, you know, that film, thanks to Andy and his beautiful work, has gone all over the world, and it has really helped to tell our story as community-based artists. So, and the story of Don and his employees. So just really grateful. But so you know, Hari, every choreographer, you're always looking for balance and pace, right? You're looking for how you build tension. You're looking for the kind of narrative arc, the structure of the dance. And I had seen that crane out on route because I had ridden out with all the different parts of the job. And I knew that it could do something the other trucks couldn't, which was, you know, a 360, that it could play with timing. It could have tension. It could be romantic. We talked about it being romantic, right? Yeah. Don actually said he thought of it like a slow dance. Like a slow, and I'm from the 80s, so I remember those slow dances when I was in high school. But and so I played some music. There was actually that scene from the moment when it happened in the film, when we were out in the yard with his crew, and I was just like, holy, this is gonna work. And there's really nothing I need to do. I'm just going to frame it. Don knows what to do. We talked about an improvisational structure, but and Don, you should tell people what happened with that machine too, because very few people know this. And then basically, as Don likes to say, I had a lot bigger problems than that. And so we really get to practice much. And I mean, Don was the best. He'd won a number of truck competitions. Didn't you come in first or second in the competition?
First.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, I didn't need to help him. He had it. And so two things. One, you should tell him about the machine, and then you should tell him about the music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the machine is a 4-ton piece of equipment that can lift up to 10,000 pounds. And this thing, when you rev up the RPMs in it, there's nothing that you can hear. It's also equipped us with what we call hydraulic hoses. And these hydraulic hoses allow fluid to pump through what we call the boom, the grappler that picks things up. And it makes it move back and forth, open and close. And during the performance, I kind of pushed it to the limit because I knew she wanted it to be great. So I literally did things with it that I wasn't supposed to do. But I just wanted it to be great. I really did. So I did it. But I'm telling you, I was praying because at any moment I could have busted a hydraulic hose. The whole show would have been shut down. We'd have had 100 gallons of hydraulic fluid all over the ground. We'd have had to call in the fire department, EPA, everyone.
That Dean, right?
Yes. Yes.
Like people who don't operate machinery don't quite understand what busting a hydraulic line means. But yeah, it would have shot not just the machine, but and actually, when people look at the footage of Don, they're like, how did he get that machine to do that? Like, it's not supposed to do what it did.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to do what I did with it. Yeah. and the other little tidbit that I love, no one really knows it by just watching the film, but I couldn't hear a thing. The only thing I could hear was the roar of the engine, and I heard none of the music. Alice and I had talked, and she told me she wanted it to be about 2.5, 3 minutes long. And we had discussed how we wanted it to go, like a slow dance, So and kind of romantic. So that's kind of what I did. I just kind of kept track of time in my head and just just started working that thing because I couldn't hear the music that Graham was playing at all. And my hat's off to him because he was watching me because I couldn't hear a thing. Only thing I could hear was the roar of the engine. The roar of the engine.
And the roar of the audience's excitement.
Yes.
But as a choreographer myself, I was so fascinated with the way you were able to not only create, measure, proportion, but you were able to coax emotion from between subject and object, which was so it was such a surreal experience. How the heck did you do that? I mean, it was not only a collaborative venture, you gave life to those objects, you gave them humanity, you gave them passion. So it's just unreal.
Thank you for that. I don't know. I literally just said a prayer and went out and did what we had discussed. The thing about running a piece of equipment like that is that you can't be afraid of it. It's gonna do what you make it do. And so I decided to make it do what I wanted it to do. And I wanted, after all this hard work, all the getting up 3 and 4 a.m., I wanted to pay off for Allison and Forklift because I saw the sweat. I saw the sweat. I saw a few of the tears. And I just wanted it to be the best show ever. And so I just knew that I had to do my part. And I just went out there and just did what I thought that she would like. I was really wanting her to be proud of me, believe it or not. I was doing what she liked, what we had discussed, and I wanted to make the audience feel the love that I felt when her and I had spoken about what we wanted to do with the crane solo.
That's amazing, and I'm so glad that this this is such it's such an addictive film, because the kind of magic that transpires in terms of collaboration, humanity, and the ways of accessing each other really come through. And I'm really happy that this transformative process is now going to be affecting Wesleyan. So I would like to ask Tamara, in terms of sharing your experiences, in terms of working with physical plant, what has this process been like for you? If you can share any insights, that'll be great.
Hello. So yes, I first came on campus as a freshman, not really caring about the work that was being done to make my surroundings as perfect and clean as they were kept up to be. But my sophomore year, I took a class in the COE, Intro to Environmental Studies, with Helen Polos and Barry Chernoff. And Gretchen came in, and she just gave a whole spiel about Forklift Danceworks, and I was really hooked on from the beginning. And I started shadowing physical plant through that process. And at the end of it, we had to make skits, sort of, and show it to the class in Exley. And afterwards, I can just say that I do not look at Dean or Tom or Paul or Mike the same anymore. I definitely see them more as friends than just essential workers and just people to come do their job whenever I put in a work order. it definitely created more of a community where I can easily have a conversation whenever I see Dean and Mike walk into the gym, which I can't right now because of COVID, but but it was good for the past 3 years whenever they bugged me while I was running on the treadmill. But yeah, that I feel like it's definitely changed my whole perception of them.
That's fantastic. So what would you like to see in terms of now that the residency is going to be continuing, it's going to be an ongoing project? Could you share any of your, what are you excited about? What's your anticipation? What are your expectations?
So I am currently working on my capstone project for the end of the spring semester. It will incorporate physical plant and hopefully SMG that I started shadowing, which is the custodial staff workers on campus. And it's a big deal because we're trying to make this more inclusive this year. And I am planning on doing a project that's more small scale than what Allison does, but more of a bigger scale than what Skit is. And it will hopefully show the physical plant workers and SMG collaborating on a graduation ceremony out on Andrews Field, because it just resembles a very big milestone event that we have sadly not been able to have during COVID. And I feel like it's a time when we all come together to make that happen. And I just am excited to start. Well, we already are doing a lot of outreach and continuing shadowing with fellow students and continuing to broaden that next semester and make it more concrete. And it's going to just become very big in the next semester.
Great, thank you. See what you do, Allison? You open Pandora's box of more magic. Dean, this is the question. Okay, excellent. Dean, this is a question for you in terms of just sharing your experiences working with the students in physical plant, and what was that like for you?
So let's start off with saying, we talk about art, with Allison, Don, and Tamara. The passion of the work they do and how hard they try and the excitement they get doing it, that is an art. It's all about the work being done and the way to do it. I've always said, it doesn't matter what you do. If you're a dishwasher, if you're a custodial worker, if you're a plumber, if you're an accountant, a CEO of a business, if you're the president of the United States, you should be doing your job the best you possibly can. And as you see this panel right here, the people I work with, Paul, Tom, all the people that I know that have helped this out, that's what they do, and that's an art. As far as what I do, I mean, I'm not running a machine and making it dance. Definitely not. I've been working with the students for, I think it's about 6 years now, and what I get out of it is the basically just the ability to see these younger people and to work with them and to see their side of everything too. It's such a nice thing to do, and I just appreciate it.
I think it also speaks, Dean, it also makes me think about the idea of an uncompromising work ethic intertwined, mixed with passion for your job, whatever your job is, and doing that to the best of your ability. I think it defines our how we approach life and how we approach our daily, the ways we work, the ways we share, and the ways we love. This kind of uncompromising work ethic and this kind of passionate ways of embracing the world. So thank you for sharing that, Dean. Allison, this is a question for you in terms of you as a choreographer working in a kind of proscenium platform. And how has this experience and these ways of working, this environment, the site specificity, the ways you approach collaboration, how has it changed for you over the years? And do you have any insights to share about that?
That's a great question, Hari. Well, and my technical director is coming out with more lighting for me because I kind of thought this was the best private place in the house. It comes. Yeah, so I'm gonna Hari, I'm just gonna flip around so my technical director can shoot the light better on me.
Allison, FYI, you are always radiant and glowing. So.
Well, I was holding my phone up. I'm like in the dark.
Afterthought.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Just flip around. Here we go. Much better now. Almost. Well, so I would say with every single project, the trash project, Power Up, the Wesleyan project we're working on right now for next year, there is always a moment where I am like, I do not know how to do this. We can't, I don't know. I can't. Every single project challenges me in a new way, in a different way. And particularly, I think it's how to figure out to, as a choreographer, to set up a situation where the collaborating community, be it the physical plant staff, oh, much better, thank you. Woohoo! Thank you, technical director, aka husband. So power linemen or forestry techs or aquatics maintenance men and women, like, what is the best way to show people's work and people's movement expertise? And how do we set up people for success? Even Tamara worked summer before last with us on a project with almost 100 community cast members, including a bunch of kids. Dawn was part of that project as well. How do we set up things for success for people? And I would say, how do we make great art? And Marty Pottinger, who is a theater-based community-based artist, who I much admire, says, everybody wants to do great things. So how do we work as a team to create something that inspires people, that creates awe and magic? And you can create some magic with trash trucks, right, Don? And you can create some magic with some plumbing equipment. I know you can, Dean, because you made water come out of where there shouldn't have been water coming out. So how do we create that? And then how do we set something up so that, site-wise, there's, it's all about problem solving. It's all about problem solving, Hari. And so I would just say that what I've learned every time is that I'm going to learn something new, and then I'm not going to know. And I'm going to have to go to the experts who are the collaborating community and follow their guidance. And I mean, there was that moment in Trash Dance where Dawn was like, I know we're getting to the end, but we got this. And that is what's so true. Like, I work with people, they're professionals, right, Dean? We got this. We know how to do this. So I just have to remember that. That's really what my job is, to facilitate people to show what they know in the best ways that I can do that for them.
Yeah, but it also speaks to you in terms of transforming these spectacular ideas into really accessible, straightforward experiences. And I think there's something really to be said about what happens in that transmission of information and how you negotiate those interpersonal relationships. Yeah.
Well, and so I work with Chrissy. I have a co-director, and she's extraordinary. And I would say I didn't have Chrissy on the trash project, but I had her on the next big project. It definitely helps to have a partner, like to have a team. And it's not all up to me on the trash project. Stephen Pruitt, the production designer, I mean, you saw him some, but he was constantly there helping me sort it out. Trucks can't go backwards like this, Allison. The truck has to go like this, all of the technical things that I didn't quite understand. And then I would say it's really about showing up and building relationship, and you can't fake that. And people smell it, see it, feel it if you're not for real, right, Dawn? And I think for me, I feel like it's just awesome. Like I loved getting up at 4:30 to go get on that truck. And that's authentic to me. Like I feel like I am honored and privileged to get to be part of Don and his fellow colleagues' world and to get to see that world in the way that I never would have if I hadn't had this excuse as an artist. I imagine Tamara feels the same way. She's gone in that basement or on that roof or all those places that she would never have gotten to go as a student. So it feeds me deeply, Hari, but it is hard work.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah, that comes through, and that came through in the behind the scenes, the process in which you crafted this film and the dance. But there is also an immense amount of mutual respect, which I think really goes a long way in terms of making all this theatrical magic possible. I have a question here from one of my dance colleagues, Joya Powell. Thank you so much for your work and vision, Allison. What do you feel are your roles and responsibilities of collaborating with community?
Yeah, great. Do you want me to just try that, Hari, or?
Just jump in, and then anybody else want to take it?
Yeah, I'd love to hear from Dean, Tamara, and Don on this question too. So, of course, this is a really important question, and I read an article by a performance ethnographer last week, Dwight Conkergood, and he said in the article that he's a performance ethnographer, but he said all performance has ethical implications. And so all performance, all that we are doing, right, Hari, as artists and choreographers, we need to be thinking about the ethical implications, not just those of us who are doing community-based work. But in this process, there are lots of important questions that have to be answered before we proceed with the project. And so in the case of Don and his fellow employees, I spent about 2 years getting permission from the department before I was even allowed to enter the job site. And number one, I wanted to ensure that everybody would be paid to work on the project, and that they would all have permission to work on it and get paid for the time they spent. And that took a while to ensure. And then really, I think it's about, like you said, Hari, developing long-term relationships that take time to ensure that we know the story that Don and his fellow employees wanted told, and that we collaborated on that, and that we were in right relationship there, and that I was accountable and knew how to be accountable to the staff and what the outcomes Don wanted, and in this case also the employer. Like they really wanted this to build public awareness for the hard work of their employees. So it is really about deeply listening at all aspects of the project, and yeah, and then showing up at 5 and at 3 and at 1. Don, Tamara, Dean.
Can I jump in? Can I jump in? That right there, Hari, is the reason why I decided to jump on board. That passion, that love, the commitment to not only to want to have us, a light shed on us, the performers, the collaborators, but also wanting the community to get a better understanding and appreciation of who we are and what we do. I saw the passion every day. I saw the passion, and that's what the biggest thing for me was her being genuine, being herself, coming in every day, not wearing a white dress and high heels. I mean, she had on work boots and jeans and work vest, and she's ready to go. You know, to me, that was one of the biggest things, is that when you wanting to do something that involves the community, you have to be genuine, you have to be open, you have to be honest, because we see that, we feel that, and I felt that. And that's what made me want to be a part of it.
Yeah, I can also jump in on this. That was beautifully said. I grew up as a first-gen low-income Latina in an underfunded public school system, and I loved art from a young age, but I could never rack up the pennies to like go to a dance class. But I did get involved in the musical in my high school. And once I really got to work with Allison and go to Texas, especially, that was a big opportunity for me to kind of show too, because I specifically worked with the kids from 5 to 20 years old. And there were a lot of them. There were like 20 of them. And I wanted to inspire them and show them that people who look like them are doing these types of jobs and are doing this type of work in the community, and that they can also be inspired. But I also want to acknowledge that it was still someone coming in from a different community. I'm not from that community. So when it was Juneteenth and we were celebrating, I knew the boundaries, when to actively listen, when to be respectful, because I feel like we also need to know and be respectful of that as well. But that's my experience with that.
Great, thank you. Before we need to bring this to a conclusion.
Could I jump in one?
Yes, please, Dean, please.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, we talk about community and we talk about dance. It's one big dance. The way that the community survives is everyone working together and making this art. And that's how I look at it, is that, you know, we accept each other for what we do and how we do it, and we get jobs done.
That's so beautiful. And also it also reminds me, in this process of collaboration, you not only get your hands dirty, but you need to really respectfully and honestly enter each other's worlds, and really mean it, and not just paying lip service, and really doing the work. What it means to enter each other's worlds, and what it means to interface and embody that in really multiple ways, in really empathetic ways, humane ways. So that came through, and that's why Forklift is what it is. I'd like to ask one final question in terms of in terms of this Wesleyan collaboration, this Wesleyan residency, and what's going to come out of this. What excites you about this particular campus and this institution and Wesleyan, particularly working with our amazing students and staff? Allison, this is for you.
Well, I just first have to give gratitude to Wesleyan and the COE and Barry Turnoff and the CFA and everybody who's ever put up with me in the dance department. I mean, you all have been a real home for me, Dean. Like, I started coming back and forth to Wesleyan, I don't know, back in 13 or 14, definitely, I think it was 13 or 12. So, you know, for those of us who are working as independent artists, universities can be real important places of support and continuity. And I'm just grateful for that. And how many interns have I gotten from Wesleyan? Like all of them. And Gretchen, who is an assistant choreographer with us full time now, graduated from Wesleyan. So anyway, I feel much debt and gratitude. And I think that really this project that we did at Williams College, your neighbor, with the dining services staff back in 2018, and then at Wake Forest in North Carolina last year with facilities, it's really because of you all, Dean, because we had this opportunity to tour Forklift. Well, of course we don't tour. I mean, Dawn, we might tour, right? We have some ideas. But, you know, that's our process isn't about taking something already made. It's about making it with the community. And so we began this multi-year residency on college campuses, really inspired by me coming to Wesleyan and getting to know and Clara and Gretchen and Tamara's ongoing work. So I'm grateful for the laboratory that you all are for us. I feel like Wesleyan staff are brave, the faculty are brave, the students, you ask a lot of hard questions, and it is a place of innovation, and it's a place where people reach and try new things. So the doors are open for a really exciting project. So just get ready. And I think lastly, and then I would love if we have time for Tamara or Dean, I want this project to be, to be the middle of something, not the end, or be the beginning of something. So how is this a catalyst for something larger that happens on campus, really about relationship between students and staff? And so students, come to Tamara and Gretchen and I. We want to hear from you. This is your project too, and that, it's you in the end are the beneficiaries of the work of people like Dean. And so come with us, get to know them, and help support them to tell their story, where we need your help, because this is your community. And as Tamara said, I am an outsider, even though I was there for a little while, but hold us accountable and come do this with us. So we're really excited.
Thank you, Allison. We can't wait to. We're excited too. Dean, sorry, yes?
Yeah, I guess I'll add on to that. So like Don says, Allison, you reel us in, see? And you got me for life anyway. So as long as I'm at Wesleyan, I'm here for you. So however we do this and whatever we decide with Tamara, and we're gonna be talking about it, and
it's gonna be awesome.
we're gonna be there for you, Allison.
This is so exciting,
Yes.
and Forklift will be working with us for the next 1 year, for the next year at least, and we're really excited to see what kind of magic unfolds. It also speaks to Wesleyan. I'm so privileged to work here as an thinking outside the box in terms of liberal arts education, in terms of how we can not only bring the world together, but also foster a sense of community and change the world we see it, and improve and transform it collectively in solidarity. So I would like to thank Allison, Don, Dean, Tamara for really engaging in this beautiful conversation. Allison, I hope there's going to be a sequel to the film. I think it's overdue, and I'm looking forward to see what awaits. And I'd just also like to do a little plug on behalf of the dance department that we have an amazing fall faculty dance concert on October 31st, which is going to be live streamed, which features our new dance faculty, Milka Georgievich, Maho Ishiguro, Doug Elkins, and Shamel Pitts, opening up yet another portal in terms of what dance and movement has to offer. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a good night. Thank you to the audience, and thanks a lot.